Dayne Morrison, reporting for the Gleaners, JamaicaElections.com. Today, we're here with the Director of Elections at the Electoral Office of Jamaica. This man has the serious responsibility of ensuring that the elections on the 27th remain free and fair. Danville Walker. Good morning, Mr. Walker.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Fine, fine. First of all, how long have you been in this government post and what really motivated you to begin this?
10 years. This May that went by is 10 years. What motivated me? I knew of the position. I always kind of liked watching politics from afar. You know, a good ringside seat. I felt this would be.
Yes.
If I was the director of elections. And I heard on the radio that they have been trying to find someone for this job and they couldn't find anybody for the last 7 or 8 months. You know, I said, well, what the hell? So I put in my resume.
Yes.
And went through a series of interviews. It was a tough time because it was, when I got the job, it was May 26th in 1997. And it was 6 months before the next election. So it was a hell of a ride because we were also in the middle of a full house-to-house enumeration exercise. Yeah. Yeah, it was tough, but it was, you know, after that it can only get better, trust me. You know.
So Mr. Walker, as we know, Jamaican elections are notorious for being violent and given the importance of your job, which is ensuring a free and fair elections, would it be fair to say that you have one of the toughest jobs in Jamaica?
Well, it is a challenging job, I must tell you. And I find it gets tougher and tougher each election, not easier. Our elections are not as violent as they once were. You know, I was a soldier in 1980, in the 1980 election. But that was the first election I had anything to do with.
The 1980 election.
And that was one of the more violent elections. That were, yeah, pretty much the most violent one, you know. Yeah, and so, but I didn't really know anything about elections. I just did the soldier work, you know, guarding things and running down people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was, we have had pretty peaceful elections since 97. I think the electorate has grown up a bit. And you have some fringes that people are quarreling, but nothing like what I went through. No, I mean, I feel far safer living in Jamaica now than I ever did when I was about, you know, probably your age in 1980.
So what really made you stop with the Defence Force?
Well, I was a reserve soldier and I wanted to go back to school. So I resigned and I used to work in my parents' business. I went overseas and went to university there. And I stayed there for a while, got married there, you know, children come along, you know. But then I think I always, you know, my heart never left Jamaica. I still felt that I was just there to go to school. And so we said, well, let's try, you know, here. So we came home. I came home just about a year before. About a year and a half before I became director. And, you know, I've not regretted it at all. I must tell you, there are times I get up and you always come to crossroads in your life, and you go left or you go right. And I always just thank God I took the path that brought me home. Because...
And you also hit on a point, a very important point, that it was a year before you became the director.
Yeah, I'm thinking now.
You also happen to be the director of the Office of the National Reconstruction. Quite an important post also.
Yeah.
I want to know what attracts to these kinds of challenging government posts. Also, what implications could Hurricane Dean and Storm have on us?
But the Hurricane, on our post, I was asked to do it. It was in between elections. So I took a secondment from EOJ, the commission allowed me to go. And you're right, it's a challenge that attracts me. I've been offered a number of government posts since I've been director. But there isn't anything particularly challenging about them. I think they are great jobs, you know. But I really want to work on something that probably has been a problem for a while. And I believe I can fix it. I think that is probably the most attractive part. Maybe the ego thing, I don't know. But
you enjoy settling issues, resolving problems.
Yeah, the problems.
No,
I think it starts back from, you know, in high school, physics was one of my favorite subjects. Physics is a problem-solving subject, where you see the problem, you solve it. Yeah. And I became an accountant, and I think the training in both and in business, I tend to see most things as a problem to be solved. And you know, I really believe I would like to work on things that take a long time to come to fruition. To be honest with you, if it can be fixed in a year or two, you know, anybody can go fix that. You know, I rather have something working at 5-6 years over the road and start to see where we're going, and in 10 years we'll have a platform on which somebody else can build. That's just about when I want to go. You know.
Definitely. So now turning to the impending election.
Yeah. And the hurricane.
And the hurricane. We know that there are lots of international observers coming into the island to monitor our polls. Right? What do you expect them to learn from the EOG and Jamaica? And what have you learned from your experiences observing overseas, particularly in Haiti?
Most of the observers coming in, I've worked with them a lot in other countries. So, as I said, you know, I've been to quite a number of electoral missions.
Like what? Which countries? We know Haiti.
Been to South Africa, Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Suriname, Guyana, Antigua. It's
continental.
You know. And I've worked in other places in Africa like Malawi and Lesotho.
Interesting.
So, but the thing is, you know, elections are, to me, they're not rocket science. It's not rocket science. It's not that difficult. The question is, do you have the will and the funding to put on good elections? When the observers come here, I believe they come to see what we're doing. And it's good. I would hate to have an election that nobody wants to come and see, to be honest with you. When we invite the observers, we invited about 5 or 6 of them, and about 3 of them have written to us saying, no, we know you have it, you're pretty much okay. We have to keep our funds for those places that need observation missions more. I have a sense of disappointment because, boy, nobody going to come and see what we've been working on. So when the OAS agreed to come, I was really happy because at least somebody is coming. Yes. I know CARICOM would come, and because CARICOM, the heads of government have agreed that you must come to all of them. So, you know, yeah, so, but they'll come here and they'll learn. Have we learned from observation missions?
What I want to ask you also is what changes have you been able to make to the Jamaican system as a result of your experience?
Well, I can tell you, we have pictures on our voters list of the electors now. Right, so every name on the voters list have a picture beside it. And the first place I saw that was in the Dominican Republic. And when I saw it, I said, we have to have this. We have to have this. And the thing is, our system had the capability to do it. So immediately we had that. When I was in South Africa, was the first time I saw election day workers vote before the rest of the population.
Yeah, that was the first.
And that was, I think, an election I went to. It might have been in '98. And we submitted the reports why we thought this needed to be done here, and we passed the legislation for the 2002 election to have that here. A number of little things, just the techniques. I would say, and what have people benefited from us? Well, I'll tell you, the electoral system in Antigua, we are the ones who installed it, you know, and we assisted in running their election. And what we did in Haiti, I was part of a monitoring committee, and the OAS did the registration, the same OAS as is coming here. They were in charge of the registration of the 4 million people in Haiti on the voters list. And the system they used in Haiti is identical to the registration system that is used in Jamaica. They capture fingerprints, they take a photograph, and they capture demographic information, they bring it together. And the company that cross-matched their database is the same company that installed our system.
Yeah, interesting.
So it's a small community, you know, the electoral community around the world. And so we tend to know most of each other. And we share ideas willingly.